Good morning, it's Friday and welcome to another episode of Choir Leader, Not in a Kayak. I'm back in my garden and this week's episode is all about timing. It's been quite a difficult week. I hope you've been well. I started the week off relatively well, on quite a really positive spin, and then as the week has progressed I've become increasingly quite tired actually. I think I've been spending too much time working a bit too hard or expecting a little bit too much of myself. As a musician, good timing is everything. As a choir conductor, it's vitally important to get my timing right because I need to cue in other people. When I go to live gigs, and especially if I go and watch an orchestra play, I love to watch the concentration on the musicians' faces as they're counting through the bars when they have nothing to do, so that they are absolutely ready to come in on time at that crucial moment. And in life, sometimes timing is bad, and you often hear that phrase, I was in the right place at the right time, or it's about time, or just wasn't quite the right time. And I think at the moment we have a lot of time on our hands and we can fill it in all sorts of ways. We can fill it with connecting with people, with creating new opportunities, or we can just fill it with resting. And yesterday I was so tired that I decided the best possible thing for me to do was to wrap myself up in a blanket and sit in the garden and take a little nap, and I felt so much better for it afterwards. The other interesting thing that I did yesterday was I invested in a loop pedal, and again it's all about the timing. You have to press the button and start to make music at exactly the same time, otherwise it all goes horribly wrong. The other thing about timing is sometimes we can plan things with such precision and they don't quite work out the way we had hoped or the way we had wished for, just because the timing wasn't quite right. In my garden in front of me, I'm going to turn around at the end of this episode and show you what I'm talking about. There's a thing of great beauty and it was never planned, and it's only really shown itself this year. So 25 years ago, when I moved into my house and we did our garden, we planted a silver birch tree at the end of the garden. It was very small, and we also planted a beautiful wisteria, and the plan was for the wisteria to grow across a garage and over towards the house, and that never happened. And for many years I was very disappointed that this beautiful wisteria that I had a big plan for, that was going to grow in a certain direction, didn't do that. And then a couple of years ago I spotted some beautiful wisteria blooms in somebody else's garden, and I realised that it was my wisteria that had grown in a completely different direction, in the direction that it needed to grow in to thrive and blossom and be as beautiful as possible. This year the wisteria has managed to climb up the silver birch tree, and in front of me I have my glorious silver birch tree that has wisteria growing amidst it. Now the gardeners amongst you will probably say, well, that's not very good, is it? That wisteria is not going to survive and that's probably going to strangle the silver birch tree. That's possibly true, but unless I get a tree surgeon in and absolutely change that setup, I can't really change it. So that for me is a great lesson in timing and planning. These two beautiful things in their own right weren't really meant to grow and develop together, but they have, and they've created something far more beautiful than I could ever planned. So next time you've got time on your hands, or you're late to something, or you think you don't have the time, or you don't feel like joining in at the time when everybody else is. We do live in a world where we have time on our hands. We can fill it with all sorts of beautiful music and wonderful conversations, or we can fill it with time to rest. Today I have a day full of making music, but I will take the time to come into my garden and look at these beautiful creations that I could never have planned or timed more perfectly. Thank you very much for watching. I'm going to try and flip my camera around and show you this thing of beauty to end the session. If I don't quite manage it, then I hope you can try and imagine what it looks like, but here goes. I didn't manage it. No surprise. I will leave it to your imagination, which I'm sure is very, very good. You can imagine purple buds amidst a silver birch tree, 25 years old, and looking as beautiful or more beautiful and perfectly timed as every good musician or person listening to a beautiful piece of music will be aware of. Thank you so much for watching. It is all about time. And if you have a chance to watch a beautiful film about that, called About Time, with Bill Nighy, I highly, highly recommend it. It's the most gorgeous story about how, in life, perhaps, we have opportunities to change the outcome. Thank you for watching. Lots of love. Bye-bye.